Hello, good evening. Natalie Bailey here, co-founder of Bailey Enterprises. So who runs the world? Now there's a lot of equality in the world and there's a lot of inequality going on in the world, and there are lots of things that we could talk about in terms of gender, pay gaps, jobs, women in business. So I want to bring on this evening my very good female friend, Kate Walter, if I can figure this out. Into Okay, hold on, here we go, there we go, add. I'm doing really well with technology today. This is take 3 because the fans were blowing me everywhere. so yes, Kate I met at a speaker training course back in January, and here she is.
Oh, that's very close.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Yes, got myself together after some technological mishaps. I came on and just managed to trash everything and had to reset up. So yeah, all good. How's your day been?
Hectic. First day back after the holiday. So first day back in the office today. So it was the usual catching up with masses of emails and checking on staff, making sure everything had gone okay. Went out for a prospect meeting. So yeah, lots going on today. But yeah, all good, all good.
Brilliant. So would you like to introduce yourself and tell people what the business is?
Okay, so I'm Kate Walter. I am a director of Rhino Safety Limited, and we are basically, in a nutshell, an outsourced health and safety consultancy, which sounds incredibly boring and dry. Try and make health and safety much more meaningful and engaging, and less about the red tape and all the other crappy stuff that health and safety gets labelled with. So yeah, that's what we do essentially. We look after other companies' health and safety for them.
Brilliant. So it's not just that you're passionate about, though, is it?
No. In fact,
No.
I would hesitate to say I'm passionate about health and safety, because I don't think that reflects well on anyone. So yeah, it's health and safety and our business. I'm very passionate about our business, but one of my personal passions is specifically to do with women in business, and more specifically, again, women in leadership roles in business. It's something that I feel very strongly about, and that I try and be a bit of a champion for, really.
Yeah. See, I really like that, because as I've started this entrepreneurial journey and become, I suppose, a business owner, I've got three companies now. And it's something that I've found.
You still hesitated to say you're a business owner there. You're
Yeah,
a business owner. You're running 3 companies. Own it.
Exactly. And this is exactly why we need more people like you to help raise the message, because I never thought of myself like that before, and it's taken me quite some time to actually get on with women, and I've been doing very well at that in the past 18 months, and I've met some new people, and I've got some great friends. And I was telling people earlier that we met at a speaker training course.
Yes.
Back in January.
Yes.
And I can't believe how fast the time has gone.
I know.
8 months. Crazy. And how you inspire me with your message. So I wanted to share that with other women that I know are on my feed.
that's really sweet of you to say. I appreciate that. It's I still struggle with the idea of being a businesswoman. I genuinely really struggle with the whole entrepreneur label, because I think it's one of those things that you kind of go, oh no, that's not me. You think entrepreneur and you think about people like Richard Branson, Gary Vee, Rob Moore, Nick James, all these kind of people. Notice all male. And I think it's difficult to put yourself, I mean, I don't particularly like labels anyway, but I think it's difficult to put yourself in that realm where you're essentially making a big deal of yourself. And I think women in general really struggle with that concept of getting out there and shouting about it and saying, yeah, do you know what? I'm achieving what I set out to achieve, or at least I'm working towards achieving that. I'm successful, I'm doing what I want to do. I do think that that's something that women in general tend to struggle with. And yeah, it's, I think having that mindset of, yes, I am a business owner, yes, I am running a successful, profitable business. It's something that I think everybody, regardless of their gender, should be out there and owning it and shouting about it, because it's not easy. It's so not easy. So many people say to me, "Oh, you're so lucky, you run your own business," and I'm like, really? Yeah, you get benefits, you get perks, obviously, but it's not easy. So when you are doing it, and whether you're, you know, I talk about running a profitable business, I'm in the situation where that is happening, but there are plenty of people who are running businesses that are breaking even or even at a loss, and I would still say they need to be shouting about it, because it's the harder choice. It's easy to be employed by someone else and go to work, take your wage and go home again. That's the easier option, in my opinion. I don't mean that in a derogatory way, it's just that's how I feel about it. So yeah, I think everybody should be getting out there and shouting about it more, but I think women in particular need a hand doing that.
Yeah. So what top tips would you give to women in business in order to do that, in like shouting about it, other than doing things like this?
Yeah, I mean, things like this are great, obviously. I mean, I don't know about you. I find the whole Facebook Live thing, well, you'll have noticed, I did a couple a few months ago, and then I had my tonsillectomy and couldn't speak very well for a while. And then I totally lost my mojo. So this is the first live I've done for ages, because I had this thing in my head of, oh, what are people going to think of me? And is it just an ego thing? And, you know, so it's not like I've got everything down on this. It's still something that I have to work at every single day. But in terms of tips, I think for women in business, the biggest piece of advice I would say is to be authentic, be true to yourself. Don't try and fit the mold that you think a businesswoman should be. Now, this kind of, I guess, relates to lots of different factors, but I see a lot of women in business doing the whole power suit, slightly bitchy persona, because they feel they have to be taken seriously. I see a lot of women sort of, in some ways, detracting from their family life, trying to almost cover up their home situation, whether they've got a partner supporting them, whether they've got children. I think a lot of women in business will try and sort of not allow people to see that side of them, because they think that it will make them lose credibility in business. And I actually think the opposite is true. Since I've been running my own business, I think I've become more true to myself than I have ever been before. I am much more comfortable with my own image. Not to say that I'm self-confident in terms of, you know, I have body hang-ups and all that sort of thing, but certainly in the way I present myself, I'm much more confident in that now. And I don't shy away from letting people know. Like at the moment, it's summer holidays, the children are off school. I have to say to people, do you know what? I can't do that day because I've got childcare situation. So I'm working from home for part of the holidays. Some days the children are going to clubs, some days they're with family. I have to juggle that. That's just part of who I am as a business person. No one would think less of a man who ran his own business doing that. In fact, businessmen who actually say, oh, do you know what, I'm looking after the children that day, they get lauded as if they deserve a gold medal for it. And actually all they're doing is being a parent. So for a woman, it's exactly the same. I don't expect credit for it, but I also don't expect anyone to think any less of me for it either. So yeah, I think being authentic, being true to yourself and your own values, I think is probably the biggest factor in being a woman in business.
Brilliant, I love it. And is there any way I can help get the message out other than this Facebook Live?
I just think
being my own businesswoman too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think owning your own position, you know that I love what you're doing. I think what you're trying to create, well, what you are creating and what you're achieving in your space is incredible. And I would love to see you take more credit for yourself, and your business partner as well, because she's in with this as well.
Yep.
So give yourself more credit and shout more about what you're doing. But in general terms, I think women have to support each other. And it's I hear a lot about women shouldn't get special treatment and all that sort of thing, and I agree to an extent. I'm not asking to be given a helping hand up over and above anyone else, but I think we do have to recognise that women are disadvantaged in business. You know the statistic that I talk about. Less than 10% of board directors in FTSE 100 companies are female. And I can actually add to that for you. You'll love this. There are more FTSE 100 company board directors called John than there are female ones.
Jesus,
Like,
really?
how ridiculous is that? So I think it's about not diminishing the support that women in business need, not trying to sort of sweep it under the carpet. Being a feminist isn't about bra burning or hating men at all. Being feminist is about saying everyone should have the same equality of opportunity. That's what it is. It's about choice. It's if this is the path that you choose to take, you should have the same shot at that as anyone else. And that's what my message is, really. So I think when you see other women struggling, when you see other women diminishing themselves, or trying to in some way fit a mold, I think it's just about, you know, putting that hand on the shoulder and saying, I get it, it's hard, let's come together and see if we can help each other out.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Thank you. Thank you very much for coming on and sharing that message. And if you're a woman watching and you need a hand, yeah, pop a comment below, and both of us will, I'm sure, I'm offering your help out here, Kate.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's fine. Put me out. It's fine.
Yeah, pick you out. So yeah, if you've got any issues, if you're struggling with owning who you are as a woman and a business owner, just, you know, pop us a comment below or send a message, and yeah, let's just support each other and be proud women.
Yeah.
Business owners. Yeah, I love it. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for sharing that.
Thank
and
you for
nice
having
to
me.
speak to you.
Yes, and we'll be returning the favour. I'm gonna.
Lovely.
I was about to say I'm gonna do you next, but you know what I mean.
There's giving a hand and there's giving a hand.
Yep.
Oh, brilliant. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and thanks, Kate, for coming on and sharing that. So, yep, like I say, any questions, any problems, if you just need a hug virtually, just pop a comment below, and one of us will get back to you soon. So have a great evening, and I will speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.